thereluctanthusband.com. This time we're going to be talking about a female singer who had a short but a very strong impact on early Korean throat. Her original name or birth name was Pak Upbeol. She was born in 1921 and she came out of some pretty good education. Um, at the time, it was somewhat considered a famous school. The school name was Lucy 여자 고등학교, which is Lucy's Girls High School at the time. And she also went on to attend a music academy. And after graduating from her high school, for a brief period, she actually got a job in a financial institution. But her true calling was as a singer, so she used the stage name as Park Chung-nim originally and debuted in 1937 with Taepyeong Records, where she was able to release a few hit songs such as 청춘 극장, Circus Girl, and then in 1939, Park Hyang-nim switched record labels and went to Columbia, where she began using her name Park Hyang-nim with Columbia Records. And during that year of 1938 with Columbia Records, she had some big hits. One was a collaboration with Kim Hae-sung. The title of the song is 천화 일기. This is an example of manyo, which is a form of comedic songs. And 천화 일기, the song is a mixture of Japanese, English, and Korean, all mixed into the lyrics. It's quite a good song. And also, another really big song is Oppa는 Pung. During that year of 1938, Park Hyang-nim was able to produce some of her biggest hits. In 1939, Park Hyang-nim went back to Taepyeong Records, and so she returned to her previous stage name of Park Chung-nim, and with Taepyeong Records, she had such releases as 막간 아가씨 and 필뚱말뚱. While Park Hyang-nim was very successful during the early part of her career, from 1937 and 1938, Okeh Records with Cheol was regretting their decision not to sign her at that time. So they worked very hard to convince her to switch labels, and eventually Park Hyang-nim joined Okeh Records. And during this time, she had a very famous song, Cosmos Tanchik, and continued to work with Okeh Records from 1938 all the way through Korea's independence in 1946, where unfortunately at that time, Park Hyang-nim passed away from complications after giving birth. Medical records weren't all that detailed at that time, but it could have been something of postpartum depression, something like that at that time. While working during Okeh Records, as we talked with, when we talked about Okeh Records with Cheol, remember how the Okeh Records was almost a subsidiary of the Japanese record label, and when Okeh Records was experiencing some success on the Korean Peninsula, Cheol was forced to give up the record business part of Okeh Records back to their original Techiko Records in Japan. And Cheol went on to do a lot of the traveling stage performance. And so Park Hyang-nim also performed with many musical troupes doing traveling stage shows. Unfortunately, after Korea's liberation in 1946, Park Hyang-nim died with some complications after giving birth. Perhaps even postpartum depression might have been an influence in her death. So, in celebration of Park Hyang-nim and her talents, especially in the comedic form of music. We're going to take a listen to one of her biggest hits, 오빠는 풍각쟁이.
오빠는 풍각쟁이야 뭐 오빠는 심술쟁이야 뭐 난 몰라 내 반찬 다 뺏어 먹는 건 난 몰라 불고기 떡고기는 혼자만 먹어 어이 집 콩나물면 나한테 주고 오빠는 욕심쟁이 오빠는 심술쟁이 오빠는 깍쟁이야